I live here for free in this insane 5-bedroom house, and I want to explain how and why, because it sounds like a scam, doesn't it? It sounds like I'm about to sell you something, which I am not. I just want to explain because I didn't know this was possible, and I think more people should know about this. So that's what we're doing today. And before we sit down and talk about it, let me just give you a very brief tour because this house is insane. So this is the living room. The library, it's got so many books. I'm just so happy. Really nice art. Here we've got the hallway leading into a dining room. This is the study. Here's the kitchen. And here is the best part of the house. We've got the chickens. And number 2, Tom. So until very recently, I lived in London with my boyfriend and 2 of our friends. There were 4 of us in a house in East London, Leighton, if you know the area. And we were paying $650 each for rent, and then on top of that you've got bills and council tax, and bills have really gone up in the past year because of the cost of living crisis and various other factors, and I thought there must be a better way, and turns out I think there is, and I think I found it, and I think I'm doing it right now. So let me explain what I'm actually doing in practical terms. Camera number 2. At the end of January, I moved out of my house in Leighton, and while in the process of moving out, I sold pretty much everything. I currently only have 1 suitcase with 4 wheels. It's a small carry-on size. I can fit on pretty much every airline. I've got 1 45-liter backpack and 1 small day-to-day backpack. When I'm moving about, I look like a marsupial because I've got 1 in the back, 1 in the front, and I'm wheeling 1 behind me. It's a lot, but it's manageable. And then my boyfriend, who is traveling with me and living here with me as well, he has pretty much the same setup. Being totally honest, the process of getting rid of my stuff was hard. I cried many times, especially when I had to sell my books that I just love books. I love reading. Some of those books I had for years, and the process of getting rid of them was genuinely gut-wrenching. It made me so incredibly sad. And this, for example, is me caving. I went on Vinted the other day and I just bought a bunch of clothes because I was just so bored of wearing the same thing over and over. So it's something I'm still working on, but yes, I have very, very few things now. Step 2 was making sure that my partner and I could both work from anywhere. Personally, I'm self-employed. My boyfriend has a regular job, but one that he is able to be relatively flexible with. Once we made all those adjustments, we were ready for the next step, which was getting a trusted house sitters membership. There are a lot of different websites that pretty much do the same thing. They help you connect with people that need others to look after their pets or just their homes. We chose Trusted House Sitters because I found a lot of good reviews online. A lot of people seem to use it, and that also means that there are a lot of listings in different areas all over the world. And when we finally got to the stage of signing up for a membership, we were so hesitant because the regular membership is around £100. I think I'm gonna list the exact amounts. We managed to get a discount code, but it was still like close to that amount. It just seemed like a lot. But now looking back, that was such a silly concern because we are staying in this house for 2 weeks, and we have, I think it's 3 or 4 house sits lined up after this one. And overall, we are saving thousands every single month. So you do the math, it's pretty easy to see that it's worth that initial investment. Finally, we got our shit together, we logged on, and slowly we began forming a short list of places that we wanted to apply to with dates and locations that work. So here we are at this incredible house sit, and I thought it would be fun if I showed you what my day looks like to get a sense of how much work it is to house sit for someone. You ready?
Good morning. I'm starting off with a run, not just to show off, but because that's something I've been trying to focus on this year. I've been really lazy, and I thought, I'm sure I can do 1 run a day. Like, how hard could it be? Turns out it's pretty hard, but I've been doing okay. I've missed a few, but I'm trying to do 20 minutes every day. I'm not gonna lie and say I'm loving it, but I'm not hating it, and I will take that. I'll absolutely take that. I listened to a podcast with a marathon runner, an interview, and in it she said that she doesn't like running either. So I figured, what the hell, I'm gonna try it. Look how muddy it is though. Makes it quite difficult. Oops. Quickly gonna do some makeup. I found that I work a lot better when I feel put together. So lately I've been dressing up instead of just my classic attire of tracksuit bottoms and like a really old disgusting hoodie. We're gonna fast this forward because I am not a beauty guru. I do not want you to make the same mistakes that I do. Okay, the transformation is complete. Also, say hello to, where are you? Here you are. Yes, hello. Hello, friends.
so cute. Always sleeps in this bed all day. Right in that corner because he is 16, so he gets tired. Okay, we're going downstairs. We're gonna do some work. Actually, before we get too comfy, I'm gonna clean the coop. I'll do a cleanliness check. Okay, some poo and 2 eggs right there. It's very exciting. And there's enough feed in here. We've got water in there. I feel like that could use a refresh. We're gonna do that. Okay, roll my sleeves up and do this. Just scrub it. Ooh, bubbles. Fresh and clean. Now the final step of this process, I need to herd the chickens back in the coop, okay? I swear I'm normally better at this. I think we've got one. Come on. Get in there, okay? Whew. Now we close it. We go get the other one. This one is a lot more stubborn. Come on, that's a good chicken. Okay, we're nearly there. Come on, please, please, please. All right, we've done it. Good work. Well, not really good work, was it? It was pretty embarrassing, but mission complete. Bye. Let's have a look in the fridge. This is incredibly overpriced, but I really like it. So I'm gonna do a ginger shot. And then I'm thinking a bit of this yogurt with banana. Look how cool these glasses are. Okay, gonna do our shot. Cheers. It burns so good. You're rolling off. This goes in the compost bin. And now I'm gonna aesthetically layer the yogurt. Well, okay, maybe not that aesthetically, but I'm trying. We add some oats. I'm just gonna free pour them. It's nice. A little bit of peanut butter, a little bit. We add the banana. I mean, look at this. Okay, we're gonna dig in. I should have used a bigger bowl on reflection, but that's really nice. Okay, let's go sit. Decided to have a little change of scenery. Sam very kindly made me this lunch, a crisp sandwich, very British, and I'm pretty happy with the work that I've been doing, so I'm gonna give myself a bit of a break. I'm gonna watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine. That's what I've been watching. Why do I keep eating this? That's what I've been watching recently, and I'm really, really enjoying it. He's ready. I wanted to finish this video when I got to my next house sit, and here I am. I'm actually in Buenos Aires in Argentina, and I am taking care of 2 lovely doggies. This is Botan, and over here we've got Soho. They're both Shiba Inu, and they have been so lovely, very calm, very docile, super, super fun to take care of. The apartment, as you can see, is absolutely gorgeous, and having free accommodation for 3 weeks while you're traveling just makes it so much more feasible to go abroad and spend a long time here. So I'm just so grateful that I discovered house sitting, and I have made a list of questions that people gave me over on my Instagram. I'll go through them one by one, but if you have any other questions, then leave them in a comment below, and I will definitely be doing more content about house sitting because this is now my lifestyle. Like, this is what I do. So number 1, how do you get your first sit? The first house sit is by far the hardest one to get because you don't have any reviews on your profile yet. So I have a little trick for this. You can actually get reviews before you ever do a house sit through the platform. All you have to do is email people that you have helped in the past, like if you have taken care of someone's dog, if you have a family member that you may have house sat for, one of your friends. In my case, I was a dog walker while I was in London. I used an app called Rover, which is really, really cool. They pay you for walking dogs. You can even have them at your house. And through that, I was able to get references that I then put on my Rover profile. I just emailed a bunch of people whose dogs and cats I used to take care of, and they gave me references. Another thing that really helped was just putting a lot of time and effort into my profile. The most important thing to bear in mind when creating your profile is what a potential house owner might be looking for. So they're probably looking for someone who's tidy, who is reliable, who is good with animals, who has experience taking care of them. So your main objective when creating that profile is to come across like someone who's friendly, easy to get along with, responsible, and who's not going to turn their house into a squat. The next question that I was asked a lot is, how do you house sit as a couple instead of just as an individual? What I've done personally is I have created a profile that already includes both myself and my boyfriend Sam. So I list both of our jobs, I list both of our ages and personalities, there are pictures of both of us. And I think a lot of people, when looking for a house sitter, actually do want couples because you have more manpower, like you're more able to take care of the animals, especially if there are multiple animals. That's definitely not to say that you can be a successful house sitter if it's just you by yourself. That's absolutely fine. I'm gonna include a little case study. My boyfriend's parents have actually started house sitting. They're both retired and they pretty much get every single house sit they apply for. And my theory is that A, they seem reliable and responsible. They're absolutely lovely people. The fact that they're older actually probably works to their advantage because you're not too worried about them having like spring break parties at the house. And again, the fact that there are two of them, they're a couple, means more manpower, more time, and more ability to take care of the animals. Another question I was asked a lot is about the sit duration. How long do I usually stay for? Personally, I only look for sits that are 2 weeks or more. For me, it doesn't really make sense to do sits that only last like 2-3 days, even a week. It's a lot of moving around, and I constantly have all of my stuff with me because I don't have a permanent base. There are fewer sits that are that long in duration, and they tend to be more popular because there are some people like me and my boyfriend that do this as a permanent lifestyle, and obviously those people will predominantly be applying for longer sits. But if you just want to try this out maybe in your hometown, then you can absolutely apply for a sit that just lasts a couple of nights and get a feel for whether this is something that you're going to enjoy. And that brings me to my next question, which we've already partly addressed, and that is the sit location. Yep, absolutely bigger cities. I'm in Buenos Aires right now. London, Washington, New York, whatever, they tend to be a lot more popular. Now, there are also locations around the world that just aren't very well represented on these house sitting platforms, and that's primarily anything outside of Europe or America or Canada. For example, I went to Kyrgyzstan a couple of months ago and I was trying to look up potential house sits, and there's absolutely nothing. Here in Buenos Aires, we got quite lucky. There really aren't that many sits going, and we were lucky that we got this one because people applied for it very, very fast. It's 3 weeks in a major metropolis. But as you can see, it is possible. The next question is which animals are best, and that obviously depends entirely on you and what you're looking for. Because I do this as a lifestyle, I'm looking for relatively low maintenance pets. If someone has 15 dogs, I think that's super cool, but it's not necessarily what I'm looking for because I'm working full-time and I don't really have the time to take care of them. We've seen people that had alpaca farms or they had horse stables, and again, right now that's not really something I'm looking for. The lowest maintenance pets tend to be like someone might have a tortoise or a rabbit. I have definitely seen those going. Again, they go really fast because they're low maintenance, low effort. Next up, I would say cats, and then after that, dogs. But because I really, really love dogs, I do look specifically for sits that have 1 to 2 dogs. The bottom line is whatever animals you're applying for, make sure that you know how to take care of them. And the final question I want to address is how do you apply? Like, what do you actually say in your application? I personally have a response that I have typed out and then I just slightly alter based on the house sit. When applying for your first few house sits, feel free to be super transparent, super honest, and mention in your application that you are new to the platform and that you may not have that many reviews, but that you're really happy to set up a phone call, to meet them, to put their mind at ease, something like that. Just be a human being about it, because on the other end is just another person that's looking for someone to take care of their home. So always bear that in mind. You don't need to be overly formal. You probably shouldn't be overly informal either, but you know, you could just keep it real, and I find that that's what people respond to the best. So I really, really hope this helped. If you are new to house sitting or you have any other questions, then leave them below. Otherwise, make sure you subscribe. I do loads of travel vlogs. I'm currently in Argentina for 3 months, which has been unbelievable, and I'll see you next week. Bye.